Good morning, everybody. Thank you very much for joining. It's 6:14 a.m., so let's get started. Today we'll be talking about examples of physical courage. And like we said, physical courage means like going ahead in spite of harm to your physical body. And it can be used positively and it can also be used negatively. So it's like a double-edged sword. It's basically like fire, as we talked about earlier. You can use fire to cook food, or you can use fire to uh, get hurt. So we'll share some related examples. First, when Vivekananda was about 6 years old, he went to a fair with a younger relative where Shiva was worshipped. He purchased dolls in the fair, and then, as they were returning home at dusk, they became slightly separated in the crowd. And then at that moment, just at that moment, a carriage came. And then Narayan or Vivekananda, who was Narayan at the time, thought that his companion was like immediately behind him. So so he immediately went back to save him. So he took his dolls. He went to the he went to his companion's help, and regardless of his own safety, grabbed him with his right hand and pulled him from under the horses. And then everybody was wonderstruck. It appeared the danger appeared like it was so sudden that it is almost I'd say impossible for somebody else to have saved the small boy. Some congratulated Vivekananda, or who was Narayan at the time, and others blessed him. On his return home, his mother heard the incident and said, "Great job." Even his mom congratulated him. And then another example of courage being a double-edged sword, having both positive and negative aspects, is the attack on the hotel in Taj Mahal in Mumbai on November 26th. We can see the bad side of courage in the terrorists and the glorious side of the courage in the people who are rescuing. So the employees in Taj Mahal Hotel displayed and expressed remarkable courage. It is a great so sort of a great display of extreme heroics and bravery, and the people who displayed them were ordinary people, and for their organization, and they did it in a way for even their country. Everybody exhibited courage, including janitors, waiters, directors, artisans, captains, people from different levels of the hotel. Everybody had a great sense of duty and service. The hotel received 500 mails from so many guests regarding the heroics of the hotel staff, regarding the heroics of the hotel staff to thank them for saving their lives. For example, there was a captain named Thomas George who escorted people through a back door, and while he was leaving, he was a the attacker shot him. But then his wife said the kids were proud of him. And you know what she also said? She said, "I didn't know I've been living with a man so brave for 25 years." That's like the remarkable nature of what he did. And then there was a guest relations executive who stopped all the members from leaving. organized the cars outside the hotel as per seniority of the members, took 3 minutes to rescue the entire team through the kitchen, and even got the right glass for the guest in the peak of the crisis. This is this is all remarkable. And then in November 2010, when President Obama visited India, he expressed solidarity with it, and he also appreciated the humanity and the courage displayed at the hotel. And in the visitors book of the hotel, Obama wrote that we'll always remember the attack not only for the sorrow but for the courage and humanity that are respected. So this is a great example of bravery. Bravery can have both positive as well as negative effects, depending on how you use it when it is physical. And then we have Chandrasekhar Azad, who was a freedom fighter in India. And he was so brave and patriotic, so it inspired many people to enter the struggle for independence. And while he was engaging in revolutionary activities once, he got caught. And then the magistrate asked him his name. Then, you know what he said? He said Azad, and Azad means free. Chandrasekhar Azad was sentenced to 15 lashes. Every time he was whipped, he shouted Bharat Mata ki Jai. Then from that time on, Chandrasekhar assumed the title of Azad and became known as Chandrasekhar Azad. Then he promised that he would never uh, uh, get arrested and from the British police, and he would die as a free man. And he was really moved when he heard of the massacre in Amritsar in 1919. 1921, when Mahatma Gandhi launched the non-cooperation movement, Chandrasekhar Azad actively participated in revolutionary activities. After the non-cooperation movement got suspended, Azad was attracted to like more aggressive ideas. He committed himself to independence at at all costs. Him and his followers targeted British officials known for their oppressive actions against ordinary people and freedom fighters. He was involved in the Kakori train robbery, an attempt to blow up the Viceroy's train, shootings of Saunders at Lahore to avenge the killing of Lala Lajpat Rai. And the British police wanted to capture him dead or alive badly. He got surrendered eventually someday. Actually, he got caught one day. He didn't surrender. He got he got surrounded. The cops ordered him to surrender. He fought alone, killed 3 police officers, but he got surrounded, and seeing no route for escape, Chandrasekhar Azad just shot himself. So he kept his pledge of not being caught alive. I know we're not saying here to like do like extreme things, but we're saying here that physical courage is an important thing, and it should be used correctly. Mhm. And then we have Napoleon Bonaparte, who was an emperor from France, and he did a lot of bad things, but he had one good quality. He had amazing physical courage. If he didn't have the amazing physical courage, then he probably wouldn't have built the empire that he built. He probably would have like lost every war he fought in and surrendered. And there was an old lady who used to live in a hut near the Alps mountain range. Then when Napoleon came, the old lady said, "Sir, what's your mission? These mountains are dangerous. People died. Go back." Then you know what Napoleon said? He said, I don't retreat once I enter action. I don't care about the hurdles. I'll overcome them and move. And then the world will be really proud of my bravery. If I succeed, I hope you'll appreciate uh, my physical courage if I die. The world will applaud me if I survive. I hope you at least will appreciate me if I die. I can't go back. Please bless me. It already blessed Napoleon. Napoleon crossed the Alps and conquered his enemy. This shows us that if we have the physical courage to move ahead and overcome hurdles, we'll succeed. Also, we have a Captain Vijayant Thapar in the Kargil War. So when India was recapturing their lost hill from Kargil at Pakistan, many brave soldiers sacrificed their lives. And there's a letter that the Captain Vijayant Thapar wrote. It's an opportunity to look into the conscience of a brave soul and his feelings and emotions. His dad was in the military, and and he retired when his son got into the military, so he had a family connection too. And so after the capture at Tololing, he spoke to his mom saying that we captured Tololing. Then later they had to capture three pimples, the knoll and the lone area. And then there was like a lot of gunfire, and then him losing some of his comrades. But then he got the men together since his urge to capture the knoll was so strong, and they moved to a ravine to face the enemy. The attack started at 8 p.m. with a thunderous shatter. 120 guns opened fire and rockets lit up the skies. And then shells covered the whole area, punctuated with lethal gunfire. The team led the team the captain led was at the forefront of the attack. And then the news of his senior officer's uh, death made Captain Vijayant mad. He surged ahead with his colleague Naik Tilak Singh, and they started fighting. There were two machine guns firing towards them. Then, for about 90 minutes, they started shooting at each other. And then finally, Captain Vijayant decided to kill the enemy. As he moved up to do so, he got he got shot in the head and fell into the arms of his comrade. And just few moments before the final assault, Captain Vijayant wrote his final letter to his family, which serves as a window to look into a brave soul. Basically, in the letter, he wrote all about like how he was brave and how he didn't like feel scared, and about and possibly even about how his family like should never feel like sorry for him. And also, do you know how we can shine with physical courage? This is the bonus. We can only shine with physical courage when moral courage accompanies it. And when there's no moral courage, physical courage is prone to the misuse and exploitation. So in situations like that, physical courage is more of a negative thing, like we saw in uh, in the 11/26 attacks. If it, if there is like only like physical courage, the attackers only had physical courage, nothing else. So that's what happened. If they would have had higher forms of courage, then they wouldn't have done that. So Swami Vivekananda calls for physical courage backed with moral courage, so that physical courage becomes more of a positive thing rather than a negative thing. So the gist is be strong, be manly. Tomorrow we'll elaborate on moral courage. We'll elaborate on examples. So with that, let's get ready to start meditation. The first, any questions or any... Okay, no questions, then we can start. Sit comfortably. Close your eyes, be with the breath.